Welcome to the Bold Analysis. Today, on this Friday evening, I was going through former CS Matian'gi's affidavit, and really it opened up a bit of my understanding on what exactly played out. And then as questions, Kenyans are asking questions. I am convinced beyond any reasonable doubt that William Ruto was played big time because of something called ignoring collective responsibility. So in this video, I will look at how um, the state fell into Matian'gi's trap. They fell into it. I want to show you how really that came through. In that affidavit, Matian'gi is saying that he was informed that there was a scheme to have him arrested, and that scheme was hatched in the sidelines of the 16th annual general meeting and Africa Prosecutors Association conference held in Mombasa. That is what Matian'gi is saying in that affidavit. Now, that is an affidavit that he presented in the High Court, where he was asking to be granted anticipatory bail so that he cannot be arrested. The quick succession of events between the time Matian'gi's arrest home raid emerged and the time was given to anticipatory bail could actually tell you that there is more than what catch the eye. And while we are a bit stuck into a very simplistic call that give us photos and videos, but I'll show you why those photos and videos may never be shown. That may never be it. If after this event, the very night, according to what Chebukati is telling the court, is that the contingent of the police left the place immediately. The lawyers came in. That's what they are saying. But that notwithstanding, nothing stops them from having it. And Matian'gi is saying that he cannot access CCTV of the video of his neighbor. So that's why that video, that CCTV is not anywhere, or rather is not available. So the question here is, did the court have evidence of an attempt to arrest the former CS? And if they didn't have evidence, then what was the ground of that arrest being a premise of giving him the bail? And there is something that happened. I want us to look at how the whole script played out. Before that, kindly subscribe to our channel, and at this level, I also want to say thank you to the Bold. Sometimes I have to confess, it's very easy when you are talking on behalf of others, but when it's you, it's a bit of a challenge. I've just been running a very short fundraiser to support me in a bill, kidogo. I think I've said only 1 week, yes. So end it on 12th, yes. We'll end it on 12th with the little you have there. The number is up there. As little as 150. Anything you get, I'll just appreciate to help me just top up what's remaining. It has not been very easy. When this report emerged, the next morning, UDA, political wing in UDA, were pushing Matian'gi to just explain whether there was a raid on his home or not. Simple. The only word was whether people came to a place or not. In fact, they were defensive of the fact that there was no raid. We saw the different agencies then taking a stand to distance themselves from it. And there was a high-profile state denial on an attempt to write Matiangi's home. And I say, by the way, the point of releasing as videos and photos was actually brought forward to just show us evidence. It was just for public consumption because the narrative was already there. But then they found themselves in a very uncomfortable situation where everyone else was denying whenever after Chebukati, whenever after Matiangi. But the question in the background was there an attempt or was there a plan to arrest Matiangi? That's the question. So until the day in the evening, then people realize, oh, tunasema tutake kumshika, but my question was there a plan to arrest him? That's the question. Only the CIA said, yes, we're investigating him. So, the high-profile state denial by different, even Waziri calling a press conference, came as a smokescreen, while the question was there an attempt to arrest him? And I just want to ask a simple question. I'm not convinced that whether it was stage managed, whether it was choreographed or no, but what will be the motive? Okay, if Matiangi stage managed it, then what will be the motive? Simple. It cannot be about the rally thing, the Kisii rally, because number one, Matiangi have not indicated he wants to vie somewhere in Kisii, as in why Kisii? If it is related, then they would have gone to Kisii straight instead of even going to Machakos. If anything, they're going to Kisii perhaps on Monday or so. So looking at that, you will actually see that to some extent, maybe someone wanted to arrest Matiangi. Yes. If it's not an arrest, then it's an investigation. But what happened? The kitchen was hot. And I can tell you that someone played Ruto. Someone played President Ruto. And that is why the people that were asking for videos and photos cannot get those videos and photos, because it could be that it was cooked from within. You cannot underestimate the fact that Matiangi was a former interior CS and not one ministry and not 1 month for 5 years. How many people do you think were promoted because of his signatures? Many. So he still with some support within that hierarchy, even within government. Even within government. And I can tell you that someone played it big time. If Matiangi choreographed it, you cannot choreograph it in Karen, and without an element of police officers going there. You cannot do that without a backing of some people within. You cannot do that. Even those people who want to believe, I'm seeing them saying Matiangi state managed it and there were police officers there or not. You cannot do it without the support of people within, because it can be smoked. Maybe hakuna police inatumwa, so you call press conference, say yes, there are people being. But you can still say I'm going to do it, but you don't send the police to confirm. It's simple. So yes, there are people who wanted to investigate Matiangi, but the information is leaking out. It means it's coming from the kitchen. That's what I'm saying, that Ruto might have been played big time, because there is collective responsibility. Even if there is a case that we're charging him, that there is an investigation going on, he was a minister. And a minister, there are a lot of other departments, like Minister Kazaka Tunikusai. So if there is anything, you will realize that it touches so. And even if there is something, even if it was investigated by then, you will realize that at one time, there was complacency on either agencies. And that is why I can tell you, the revenge missions may not succeed because of that collective responsibility. You cannot chase everyone from government who worked with Uhuru Kenyatta. Some have security of tenure. Let's now, their term expires. I see there could have been a highly guarded secret on Matian'gi arrest. And that highly guarded secret leaked out. That's it. You cannot conclude whether it is person X or Y, but there could be a highly guarded secret, because if there was no tangible evidence, or rather a tangible reasoning, the lawyers would have not convinced the High Court judge to grant him anticipatory bail. And he would have not gone that route, because there is litigation cost into it. You're paying lawyers. It's not easy. It's not easy. So you would have not angeenda hiyo extra mile hata kulipa lawyers fanya that. If there is something, the truth is there is something. It's just a matter of time. And as Okuro Court said, there is no sacred cow here. Everyone can pass through this. Now, there could be a section of the system that is favoring the previous administration. Yeah. There could be current system here that are also feeling the heat that maybe we are being given mandates that we cannot do. And with the presence of media, by the way, I was asking, you realize that there was one station that was there. Kwanza, hao wengine walikuja baadaye, but walikuwa kwanza ni one. So the presence of the media in the midnight, people are almost going to sleep. The information is out. Matian'gi's home is under raid. I'm telling you, it was sensationalized. And the media, getting involved in it, gave it the visibility and even boosted the credibility. Kenyans believe media more than, the fourth estate is believed more than even the others. Kenyans believe media than politicians. And when media is involved in it, it was all over in the social media, and it actually sensationalized the nation. So I can tell you that what will be a takeaway from Matian'gi's arrest here is that someone is saying, we never did. That state denial, that grand denial, sisi hatujui, it's a smoke screen. If it was state managed, it was by someone within. Someone knew and played into Matian'gi's script. But before they know, the whole thing was about, we don't know, we are not. Let's see. In the fullness of time, I can tell you, if Matian'gi was to be arrested, he will be arrested. I can tell you, it's going to happen. If it is to take that, because there is a revenge mission, you can't hide that. That one you don't need a microscope to see.